All right, the title of this brief lecture is Fascia. Okay? Okay. Now, I'm going to give you a definition that's not exactly a textbook definition because I don't love textbook definitions. Typically, they use words that you've never heard before to define the word that you've never heard before, and none of that's particularly useful. Now, I may be oversimplifying, but at this phase of your learning of the human body, I feel like that's okay. All right? This is a clear layer of connective tissue that covers pretty much everything in the body. I know that sounds stupid, but it's true. Pretty much everything in the body is covered by this stuff. What I want you to think of it as is that it's like saran wrap. If I say saran wrap, you know what I'm talking about? Okay, I don't know. They just call it plastic wrap, like the guess the off-brand has to call it plastic wrap because I think saran wrap is a brand name or whatever. So I'm gonna tear off a sheet of it. Now, to be clear, okay, I didn't intend that, but the plastic wrap is clear. There is not plastic wrap inside of your body. Okay, your body's fascia, your version of this is made of cells and proteins and all kinds of different stuff. But your body loves this stuff. It covers everything. Well, pretty much everything, like I said. Example. Okay, examples. Pericardium is fascia that surrounds the heart. Okay. Pericardium, let's see here. Periosteum. Guess what periosteum surrounds? What is osteo? Go ahead.
Is it like the backside?
Oh, it's a good guess. It's not the backside. What does osteo mean?
Oh, it covers bones.
Correct. Yeah. So this is fascia that covers bones. There's a lot more examples. Surrounding the brain is something called the dura mater, the pia mater, the arachnoid. Surrounding your lungs is visceral and parietal pleura. Surrounding your intestines is something called the mesenteries. There's even a huge mesentery that's draped over your intestines like a blanket of fat and lymph tissue called the omentum. Like, it's everywhere. This stuff is everywhere. Like, an inflammation of the fascia is what?
Fasciitis.
Yes. It is. There is, particularly in the feet, there's an inflammation that can happen of this called plantar fasciitis. Now, when I say fascia, okay, what words does that sound like? Anyone? One that's really popular right now in politics.
Fascism.
Yes, fascism. Okay? So what does fascism have to do with fascia? Guys, fascia is coverings. And fascism, at least in my basic understanding of it, has to do with basically preferring one people group over another based on their coverings or their skin. Okay, that's the root of that word. Or how about a more general term? What about the term fashion? Fashion is all about your coverings, your clothing, your body covering. So that's where the root of this word is. Now, in muscles, there are 3 layers of fascia. Okay, and we're going to go from in to out on this. So this is the innermost, this is the outermost. The first layer of fascia in muscle I want to talk about is something called endomysium. Remember, my means muscle. Anything with my or myo in it. And here, mysium. So this is the fascia that covers muscle cells. So that's the one that's covering muscle cells specifically. Okay, so this is the innermost, which is why it's called endo. Like I told you in my last lecture, if you understand what the words mean, you don't even have to think. They're telling you the answers. This is the connective tissue on muscles that is the innermost, wrapping muscle cells. And you might be like, well, why is that? Why is this necessary? Why is this important? Okay, so I've got some clay here. This is a clay snake here. I'm trying to, okay. This I'm going to turn into, this is basically going to be a muscle cell. Well, muscle cells are flimsy. Like they're made of a lot of fibers. I mean, they're fairly tough, but they're still just squishy stuff. And it's easy for the squishy stuff to pull apart. Now, if you cover this squishy stuff in this connective tissue here, this fascia, all right, then it gets stronger by virtue of the connective tissue that's surrounding it. Now, I'm overdoing the layers here. There wouldn't be quite this many layers around a single muscle cell of endomysium, but I'm trying to illustrate a point, okay? Because those layers of connective tissue add strength, it makes it harder to pull this apart, okay? So that's the first layer, is endomysium. Endo meaning inside of, just like endoplasmic reticulum is, inside of the cell, or endocytosis, bringing stuff into the cell. So that's the first layer. Second layer is something called perimysium. Peri is a prefix that means around or surrounding, which is why we have pericardium around the heart, periosteum around the bones, perimysium around the muscles, but specifically this is fascia that covers. Okay, what's the next layer up, folks? So a bundle of muscle cells is called a what? Yes, thank you. So it is called a fascicle, but it's exactly what you're talking about there. Fascicle. I probably misspelled it. Is that how you have it spelled?
Yeah.
Good, thank you. Okay, a fascicle, or bundle of cells, is covered in perimysium. And then finally, for whole muscle, there is something called epimysium. Because epi means above or outside of. Just like this right here, my skin. The outer layer of your skin is called what? Epidermis, yeah, because it's the outermost and it's above your layer of dermis. This is the fascia that covers whole muscle. That covers whole muscle. So, if you're a hunter and you've dressed out, deer's a good example. If you dressed out your deer and you cut the skin off and stuff like that, all of the muscles look a little bit shiny because they're covered in silver skin, right? That silver skin is epimysium. It's the outer layer. But all of those things combined are what make muscles strong, okay? And it also is what creates tendons. Those tendons are not just attached to the ends of your muscles, guys. Those tendons are a continuation of the connective tissue that goes all the way through. As all of those layers of fascia that go through all the way to the end of the bone. And that's why tendons are particularly strong. They go all the way through the muscle, and they're made out of thousands and thousands of layers of fascia. Okay, so take out your chromies, homies. Let's take a look at this question on that first struggle so we can go through it together. I'm pulling it up here. Un momento, por favor. Okay. All right, I don't know if this is going to show up at all. Ooh, that looks pretty rough. Okay. Okay, so we are headed to a little less light. Oh goodness, guys, I don't know if it's going to be any good. Oh, good, yay. Sorry to you viewers at home for me messing with all of this right now. Okay. That kind of works. All right, so we are right here, struggle part 1. And then I'm going to preview. Okay, and the question that this is dealing with is this guy. Levels from smallest to largest. And boy, that's tough to see. Okay. That kind of works-ish. Okay. So, what is the smallest level here, folks, that we're dealing with? The tiny little muscle proteins. What do you like for that? Go ahead, Ryder. It's not yet. We're going to go a lot smaller. All right, I'm going to make an attempt at something here. This may make this fail. No, it won't let me. I was going to try to change my screen from there, but I can't. Smallest level, guys, is this. Myofilaments. Myofilaments, those are the tiny little protein strands inside a muscle. So what we're dealing with here is that thing I had you draw in your notes the other day, from the smallest to the largest. If you get a bundle of myofilaments together, what do we have? Myofibrils, thank you. Okay, now myofibrils, we get a bunch of those together, then we end up with a muscle cell. There we go, yes. Now we've got our first layer of fascia right here. Which layer of fascia surrounds muscle cells? Just had notes on it. There we go, endomysium. And then a bundle of muscle cells is called a fascicle. Fascicles are surrounded by what, folks? Perimysium. And then finally a bundle. And then we have a bundle of fascicles makes up your. Not yet. The whole muscle, and then the whole muscle is surrounded by what, Ryder? That's right. There we go. So that is our layers of organization. I'm sorry, that's really hard to see there. But that's question 5 on our on our struggle. Okay, I'm going to stop there